Today we're flying with British Airways out of Gatwick to Morocco. We upgraded the seats to Club Europe, which is British Airways' version of business on short-haul flights. With Club Europe, you do get a dedicated check-in desk, priority boarding, and a dedicated security line, which made for a smooth and easy travel day. The ticket includes 2 checked bags weighing 70 pounds each, 1 cabin bag up to 51 pounds, and 1 handbag. We upgraded these seats for $168 per person a few months before our flight to Morocco. Leaving Morocco, the ticket we upgraded was 120 pounds extra. We still had to pay extra to choose our seats prior to check-in, and we opted not to do this, but the seats they assigned us on the way to Morocco were in the same row. The benefit to premium security is dependent on which airport you're flying out of. At Gatwick, it made a really big difference and it was super easy to get through. But when we were flying from Morocco back to London, it only allowed you to skip one of the 5 parts of the security, so it wasn't really expedited there. With Club Europe, you also have access to the British Airways lounge. At Gatwick, the lounge was 2 stories. The hot food was bland, so I would stick to pastries and fruits. They did have a good selection of self-serve Proseccos and rosé, along with spirits, beer, and non-alcoholic drinks. They had several coffee and tea stations throughout the lounge, and the bathrooms were clean. There was also a kids' play area. Our flight leaving Gatwick was delayed, so we were hanging out in the lounge for a few hours. They do have monitors upstairs and downstairs that you can track your flights, but there was a glitch in the display, so when it finally said what gate we were supposed to be at, it said the plane was boarding at that time. Because we didn't know this was a glitch, we had to run to the gate, only to find out they hadn't started boarding and would be doing so in 20 minutes. The British Airways lounge is on the opposite side of the airport as where our boarding gate was, so keep that in mind, that your gate might not be anywhere near where the lounge is. When boarding started, we scanned our passports and waited in the queue area. When we did board, there were no pillows or blankets on the seat. However, on the way back from Morocco, there were pillows and blankets on that flight. There was also a menu on the seat for viewing. The seats in the upgraded cabin had more leg room than economy, and the middle seat was blocked out. Flying back from Morocco, we were only able to upgrade one of our seats, so I did sit in economy, and this is how much room I had. If you are tall, this is going to be a very uncomfortable flight. You can see the person that was sitting next to me. They barely had any room, and he was pretty tall. The seats themselves were pretty comfortable. I really liked that the headrest was adjustable because it isn't always like that on planes, and it had a lot of cushion. About 30 minutes after takeoff, they took drink orders and handed out corn nuts. In contrast, when you are in economy class, all that you get throughout the entire flight is corn nuts and water. Everything else is additional. About an hour after takeoff, they served the meal. There was no option to pre-order available, and they quickly ran out of the most popular item, which on this flight was the Caesar salad. By the time they got to our row, which was row 7, there was only one left that my husband was able to get, but I noticed at least 4 other people after our row were requesting this as well. I got the risotto, which was almost inedible. I only ate the vegetables. The bread was warm and soft, and the cheese was enjoyable. The tart that was served had a good cream in it, but I had to scrape off the jelly on top as the texture was odd and tasted sour. The chicken on the salad was good, but the dressing was not a Caesar dressing. It was some sort of sour cream dressing. Overall, I'm really glad that we ate at Nando's before we boarded the flight because otherwise I would have been starving. Overall, I don't think the upgrade is worth it unless you're tall like my husband is. I'm only 5'5". The economy was tight, but it was doable. The expedited security is nice if you're in an airport that supports that or in a busier airport that allows expedited check-in. I'd say Club Europe is in between premium economy and first class on U.S. domestic flights. So I would say if you can get the upgrade cheap, great, go for it. If not, don't even worry about it. If you've flown Club Europe, let us know what your experience was like. And if anyone has questions, feel free to leave them in the comments.